Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Now, this is my friend Heidi's idea that I'm shamelessly borrowing, and she knows that, but it's so brilliant, I just had to share it with you. She recently talked about her F It Friday. This is a clean podcast, so I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I mean. She has a F It Friday ritual. And what that is she said she does the bold, crazy, unpredictable ideas that have occurred to her throughout the week. She does things like pitching someone to sponsor her podcast or calling a company for a meeting or asking someone to introduce her to a person she's really wanted to meet. Anything really. Those are just a couple of examples, but it's kind of the boldness is I think the common denominator. She doesn't have any judgment about what she's doing. She's not hedging or there's no hesitation. She's just going to pull the trigger and do it and move on. And what I love about Heidi is how fearless she is. But I know that her fearlessness comes from taking action. She has questions. And a lot of times she doesn't know if her idea is going to work, or if it's going to be well connected, or if it's going to be well received. But she doesn't let it stop her. She once told me, if you don't ask, you're never going to know. Now, I know we all know this, but it doesn't keep us from worrying or postponing or not taking action. Sometimes we are just afraid someone's not going to reply, or maybe they might say no. And as Heidi reminded me, if that happens, you're in no worse situation than if you didn't ask at all, right? You're in the same place. F It Friday could also be about trying something new just because. I think what makes it work is that you have permission to do this and it's a limited time frame, right? We can kind of save up all of our crazy-ish ideas and we could start small. Maybe we can just pick 1 hour on Fridays to begin. Just take bold action and go through that list and send the email, make the phone call, do the thing. Once you do it and survive, you might even get some cool results, but I can guarantee your creativity will spark new ideas and you're going to be excited to try them out the next Friday. This podcast actually came from an idea like that. But here's the downside, right? For years, I wanted to do this. And I mean 7 or 8 years, way too long. I really wanted to do a short podcast and I kept putting it off and finding reasons why I should wait or why it wasn't the right timing or I didn't have everything I needed. And finally, last year, it was actually late 2024. I decided in January of 2025, I was going to start. I picked a date and I decided to take action no matter how imperfect everything was. And I did not allow not knowing what people would think stop me. I didn't require myself to know every single step forward. I outlined the first 10 episodes and I hit record and published. So, what would you do? Maybe this F It Friday idea is just the thing you need to give you a little push to do the fun, to do the crazy thing that might be just what opens new doors or new opportunities. This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.